Okay, so now, as I was saying, we need to check, or we need to look at these and figure out what order these are going to be in. So a lot of these were like highlights and things. So we want this one, which is our key light. That's probably going to be our bottom layer. So let's put that at the bottom. Okay, and this looks like the GI. That one looks like it would probably go next to the bottom. And then the highlights will be next. So there's one highlight, the reflection. And we don't want the matte yet. And we don't want the shadow yet. So let's use that reflection. In fact, the shadow will go on the very bottom. And the matte will probably be on the top. So let's see, how can we get these now to show through? So we want that to show through after the reflection. So let's see. Let's just go ahead and try our modes, our blending modes. I'm gonna hit Shift Plus. I'm just gonna kind of start going through some here. That one looks like it worked. Add. Let's go back to normal. Okay. And we'll go back to add. That looks like it worked. Let's turn off our last two layers. And yep, so that one's showing through. So if that one worked, let's try our next one and see if that one might work. Let's try add. That one looked like it worked too. I'm just kind of clicking on the eye layers to see if it looks like they're showing through. And it looks like it is. Okay, so we'll go with that. Now let's try add again. And as you can see now, that didn't work. You can see right in there that the mecha is showing through that shadow. So that didn't work. I guess let's turn that off. So now let's turn on our top layer, which is the matte. Should we try blending mode and see if that works? It does look like some of those are working. Okay. So maybe we'll try that. Now we're going to go back to our driveway. And let's change our comp. I forgot to rename that. I want to call that, that's going to be our mecha. So I'm right clicking and then hitting rename, and we'll call it Mecha 1. So now I will try to drag that down here in my window. And now I have the mecha showing up, but the driveway isn't. So maybe I'll go back and try. Let's see, will any of our blending modes work? Oh, it looks like it kind of works, but not quite. Let's try overlay. No. Difference. That's not working too good. So as I can see, these aren't working too well. Let's set it to normal. Should we try a track mat and see if that might work? That one's not working. Alpha, no. Luma. Closer. And Luma inverted. Well, looks like none of those are working. So let's go back to our mecha. Let's go back and take that mat off. I'm going to hit Command X. I'm also going to delete that shadow. So now we just have our mecha files in this composition called Mecha1 right here. Let's go back to our driveway. Turn our mecha on. So once again, it is not showing through. So let's go and try our mat. Let's try it on the outside of that. Drag it down here. Okay, now let's try. And that's going to be on the top layer above our mecha composition. We're going to track mat. Let's try down the very bottom, Luma inverted mat. And there we go. So there it is. So it's starting to look pretty good. It's showing up. Now we want to put our shadow back in there. So let's get that. So our shadow's up in here, over here in our window. So let's go make a shadow. Let's drag it in between our mecha and our driveway, which looks good. Now we have the shadow. So now our only problem is it's not our background's not shown again. So I don't know. Can we do a mat? Alpha, Luma, Luma inverted, no. All right, so there's just the shadow. Let's turn our mecha light back on so we can see it. Now let's try blending mode. We'll go add. Didn't work. About overlay. Well, there we go. That's starting to show something, except it still doesn't look quite right. So let's hit our Shift plus to go through some of the blending modes. That one already looks better. Soft light, that might work. Just kind of go through some of these and see what they look like. Now that one looks pretty good. Stencil. What was it? Stencil Luma. So that looks like probably one of the best ones so far. Or these. Darken and multiply. Color burn. A lot of these are about the same, depending on how big you want your shadow. So there we go. We use a blending mode on our shadow. Okay. So that's looking pretty good so far. We at least got our mecha in there, and we got the shadow showing up.